Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's a great point in there too, man. And I tell one of the big things that so like I've always believed in Bigfoot, right? I always have, man. And in the
Mm-hmm.
area that I grew up, I've never seen a Bigfoot. I've never seen a Bigfoot, and with my own eyes, I've never seen a Bigfoot print.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard weird things in the woods, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really weird stuff. But I've never heard a howl or a knock or anything like that. But I've heard weird stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
when I was in high school, so I grew when I was in high school. So I had to, I tell this I was explaining this the other day. You would know what a kegger is, right? When I was in high school, man, they used to have these they used to have these keggers, right? So
Oh yeah.
I was an underclassman, but a story took off in my high school one time. Is in Tennessee, upper East Tennessee, man. They have this river called the Noah Chucky River, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they say that the Noah Chucky is called a Cherokee word for the devil's eye. And what it is the Noachukee River is a river
Oh
that you can tube on, but underneath it is another river. And where the underneath river hits the top river, it will create a sinkhole and it will suck you under
oh
and
wow. Uh-huh.
you'll go through
Oof.
the riverbed and you'll go into the bottom part of the river and you'll never be found, right? But
Wow.
it's a very popular place for people to go down there and enter. They still get in the water and they enter to it, but I didn't have a car or anything like that. So they had a kegger
Oh,
down there one time, right when school started. I think I was a sophomore or a freshman. I think I was a sophomore. Right when school started, they had a kegger, man. Early September, they went down there, and back I was telling, I don't know if they still do this anymore. What it is, man, you'd pull up about 5 or 6 cars, turn your lights on, and everybody would get out. They'd make a fire, and you just start pumping these kegs, right?
yep. Yep. Yep.
So these guys were down there, and there was about 15, 20 people down there. And I think in this particular instance, man, they had like a little fire going, and one of them, so they were drinking and drinking and drinking. One of them looks off to the side over in the tree line, and they saw, this was the story. They saw a Bigfoot standing there, but it was only like 4 feet tall, 5 feet tall, juvenile, right? It was a juvenile Bigfoot, right?
Right.
So these guys are all
Mm-hmm.
drunk and they thought it would be funny to chase it. So like three or four of them, like, let's get it. And they took off. They started chasing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the Bigfoot went through the woods. And so they chased it. The story came back to school that they chased it about a half a football field, man, maybe 75 yards, way longer than you should ever go in there. And they stopped.
Yep.
And by the time they got there, four or five other people from the kegger pulled up and they're like, "Man, what's going on? What's going on?" And they looked at it, and one of them just happened to have like a, remember them big mag lights, man, those big ones, like you put
Yeah.
like 14 batteries in.
Sure.
Cops used to
Sure.
bang you in the head with them if you get out of line, right?
Yep.
So one of these
Yep.
guys, man, had like this mag light, and he's looking around, man. He looked up, he said he looked up into the trees, man, and there was like 15 or 12 of them in the trees looking down at him, and there was the mamas and the daddies,
Oh,
and so man, mass panic broke out, right? And so
yeah. Yeah.
they they just broke back to the cars, man, and dove into the cars, man. They all drove off, man. That's the
Wow.
only Bigfoot story that I'd ever heard. So, but here I just plugged the segment. The Ancient Enigma
Wow.
Files: How Not to Die in the Woods. Never chase a Bigfoot juvenile because he's running to his mommy or his daddy, right?
Yeah, do that. Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Ah.
but yeah, man. And so I've always believed it, right? And so when I joined the Navy and I went there, and when I was in Japan, like I said, I would sit around and I would talk to these guys from all over the
Mm-hmm.
place, and I would tell them a casual Bigfoot story, and they'd be like, what are you talking about, Hayseed? I'm like, what do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't have those? Like, I'm from Ohio. It's like, you don't have those? It's like, no. So I was like, I just thought everybody like had like Bigfoot
Mm-hmm.
stories, right? But yeah, man, and with the thing about how you said is that they always come at you and they're like, well, just like you said, well, why did they never catch one? Why they never find one? Why you never find a body? And I do defend several things about how I can point this out is that the reason the reason why you never will never find a Bigfoot body is the same reason you'll never walk up on a dead deer carcass in the woods because it'll be gone.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.